Welcome to our honeybee farm. And I am a beekeeper. My job is working with honeybees. Each of our honeybees live in these boxes. These boxes are called beehives. I am wearing a bee suit, actually a bee jacket. It has a veil, which is screened all around so the bees can't sting me in the face. Because yes, bees do sting. Bees do sting. But they only sting when they're afraid. So if you're around bees, the best thing to do is to stay calm and walk slowly away from them. So today I'm going to show you some of the things that I do at my bee farm, which is in Tuskegee, Alabama. So over here, let's go take a look at the beehives. These are the beehives, the boxes that our bees live in. In here mostly, and I think there's some video coming up that's going to show you how they go in and out their front door. These are little decorations I put on their hives, which helps the bees find their way home. Beehives have a bottom box and a top box. They're typically 2 stories. And they have a roof. These roofs come off. I'm not going to take it off now because I would make them angry. And we don't want to make the bees angry. And we paint the beehives different colors to help the bees find their way home. And once again, because I'm wearing heavy duty gloves and a protective bee jacket, it's less likely that I'm going to get stung by bees because bee stings can hurt. Beehives can come in different shapes and sizes, and they can be painted in different bright colors. Sometimes we decorate our beehives, put trees on them and colors and all sorts of things. These bees have a bigger opening for their beehive. They go in and they go up into the bee box, into the beehive. Sometimes they have a little opening at the top, which allows for air to get into the hive and helps keep them cool. So, all these bees are busy in their hives, their little bee houses, busy making honey. There are some mornings about once a week where we do a bee inspection, which means we open up some of the beehives to see how the bees are doing, to check on their health and make sure there's nothing wrong going on in the beehives. And sometimes we have to make corrections. We use a little bit of a smoker tool to mask our scent so the bees don't notice that we're there, because bees basically navigate their world by a sense of smell. So looking inside the hives, these are called frames. And on these frames, the bees make honeycomb. Honeycomb is building blocks for each beehive, and bees use the honeycomb to store honey, baby bees, bee eggs, bee larvae, and sometimes they're a little hard to pull out of the beehives. But on this frame, you see they're not quite a lot of bees, but ooh, look on the other side, there's a lot of bees. And if you notice, they're not trying to fight me or sting me or do anything harmful. As long as you work slowly, carefully, and cautiously, and you wear your safety gear and once again, put a little bit more smoke to hide our smell. So it's almost like they don't even see you. Now, on this bee frame, the dark yellow spots you see, that is what you call capped brood, which means there's a little baby bee inside, kind of like an egg, waiting to hatch. And in some of the frames, you'll see a clear liquid substance, and that is actually honey. Now, bees are very busy when the weather is warm because they like to go outside. And most bees visit hundreds of thousands of flowers in their lifetime. And this is an up close look at one of the frames that are inside of the beehive. We usually put 10 frames in each hive, so the bees have plenty of room to work. This yellow area is where they store honey, and they put a cap on it like a little lid made out of beeswax. Yes, bees produce, create, and use beeswax in their hives. And you can see they're very busy at it. They do a lot of work. In this picture, you see orange and dark brown and medium brown. That is called pollen. That is the stuff that you see on flowers, and the bees collect it and bring it back to the hive and make bee bread. In a beehive, there can be more than 10,000 bees in one bee hive. The queen bee, there's only one queen bee, she looks very different. In this picture, can you spot the queen bee? And I'll give you a hint. She has a little yellow dot on her back. Raise your hand if you can see the queen bee. So I wanted to show you a very close-up picture of one single honeybee. You can see she has wings, and yes, they are black and yellow, and they have multiple legs. They have little antenna. And bees are actually very soft. Those little hairs on the middle part of them are very soft to the touch. But don't try to touch a bee by yourself. Nope. I had a good day with this little bee, and she was very friendly with me. So here at our bee farm, we have lots and lots and lots of pretty flowers. So I just wanted to share and show you some pictures of our flowers that we have. The bees love them, and the bees collect nectar and pollen from the flowers. Sometimes in the summer months when it's really, really hot at the bee yard, we put out bird feeders, but we made the holes a little larger, just the right size for the bees, so that they can go in there, get some water, have a nice little drink of water, and then go back home to their beehive. It was an easy way to keep the bees happy. So, remember we showed you earlier the frames inside the beehive? Some of the frames have only honey. No baby bees, no pollen, but just honey. So this is one of those frames, and we make sure we sweep off all the bees so they can go back to the hive. And then we put the frames inside a honey extractor. It's this big silver tank, and we turn the handle, and all the honey comes right off of the frames into this big, nice steel container. And then we open up the tank, and all the honey just flows right out. And those little bits of honey bee wax that you see, we use a strainer and filter those out so that when you see the honey in a jar or bottle, it doesn't have those chunks in it. It's just pure, clear, lovely, delicious, sweet, smells amazing honey. It's delicious. And look how pretty that is. And we put them in all different size jars. Then we give them to friends or family. And sometimes, if we have extra honey, we even sell our honey. And honey is so good on so many things. And here you see, we love our honey on biscuits. Mmm, yum. Do you like honey? And what do you